what's up? It's Ali, your favorite eccentric slow mad. How y'all doing today? Welcome back to my channel, y'all. If you're brand new here and you like travel and you're trying to figure out how to do it for yourself, uh, maybe you don't have all the resources, know all the people, just afraid to maybe get started, this is the channel for you, okay? So I'm out here just living life. Hopefully y'all can hear me. I'm actually going to walk around a bit. But I thought I'd go live while I'm in these streets. And yes, I just went from balmy. We're going to walk because I decided to come and sit right at the height of lunch hour, I guess. But yes, I just left the balmy and fantastic Bangkok for this. Wait. Ducks of a different feather flock together. But look at those mountains over there, y'all. Ducks and geese and all kinds of things over there. And I'm just out for a walk and got no time like the present than to go live. So if you jump on, first and foremost, let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can see me okay. I am on eSIM data, so we're going to see how that works out. But y'all, I'm in Tirana, Albania. I've been coming here for the last 3 years. Say about 4 months is my longest stay. This is only going to be a couple of weeks. And I think I've done some videos on Tirana before. But I thought I would refresh since I continue to come here, and because moving out of the U.S. has become such a hot topic of conversation, it makes sense to talk about one of the places that a lot of people are asking about. So, you guys, there's one of the things that I love, if you don't know, is good, beautiful, walkable cities. And so we got the park there and then the city right across the street. But feel free to jump in and ask me any questions. I'm just going to share a couple tips off the dome because everything that is written is actually on this one. So I can't tell you what I can't tell you everything because I don't remember everything, and I actually have a plethora of things to share with you guys. But you know, I'm on my YouTube, I'm on social media, and in lots of different travel groups and things like that. And one of the places that has come up on the United States potential travel list is none other than Albania. And y'all might be wondering why, right? Especially if you don't like the cold. It's not cold like this all year round, but it definitely is chilly from, I would say, November through probably February or March time frame. So similar to our colder winter months in the States, like Chicago. Actually, look the other way. we gonna duck off in the cup over here, y'all. I'm gonna go down there by the water side, okay? But yeah, if you're used to a little bit of the winter weather, in the Midwest, Northeast, Northwest, then you act a acclimate pretty quickly to the weather here. I lived in the Midwest most of my life. I don't acclimate well because this is not my thing. Winter is not my thing. So I actually prefer warm climate. So I'm gonna walk down here. I'll flip the screen so you guys can see. This is just one of those places that has this kitchen bar. I should go in there and get a coffee. I'm sure they got coffee. Let's see. Anybody got coffee over here? I got some coin. Might sit over here and just have a quick coffee, you guys. And then you guys kind of get to see how it is, how people are. Like I said, it's pretty chill. Alright, I haven't really said on this video how chill it is. It's actually pretty chill. So let's just see if I can get a coffee. Take you guys with me. Bear with me momentarily, if you will. Let's go over here. Okay, yeah. Alright guys, give me a second. Push it there yet? Coffee? Have a cappuccino?
Okay. You want to take away?
For here.
Okay. I'll take that.
Okay, thank you. So I think we'll sit outside. I think. Let's see how cold it is. It's nice and cozy on the inside. But since I want to continue this video, I'm going to sit outside. That's not to disturb anybody in there. Try not to be rude. You know what I'm saying? Alright, let's see how this works. Actually, let me turn this way. And then that way you guys can get a nice view of the pond, the lake, and everything. Okay, so, you know, yeah, a lot of people are asking or considering Albania, or asking about Albania, or just breaking the mold and deciding to give it a whirl, right? And what do I think? And okay, so first I'm gonna tell you guys why I think it is becoming a very high potential country on the list, and that is because of our relationship and immigration status with the Albanian government. So as of now, pre-1/20/25, hopefully nothing changes, but as of right now, U.S. passport holders can enter and stay in Albania for 365 days. You can stay longer than that, but you do have to leave the country. But there is no 9180 day or 365 day or 365 90 day or 365 and 30. There's none of that. But if they kind of see you stay for a year and then leave and then come back a day later and stay a year, I think they pay attention to that. I haven't heard anybody say anything about it, but the easiest way to circumvent that, and not, it's like, there isn't necessarily a rule, I don't think. Just bringing in my coffee. Thanks. Tell me, Derek. Okay. Get my cappuccino. And then you go in and pay later. They're really awesome. Typically. I mean, a lot of places you go to, you can just figure it out on your own. Okay, so anyway, we get a year visa, and let me show you something else. I didn't even think about it. They will always bring you an ashtray because they just assume everybody smokes, and many people do here. So that's going to be one of the cons. I'm going to let you know. But the pro is the amount of time that we can stay. But ultimately, what a lot of people do when they come here, even if they're coming to stay, is they visit neighboring countries. And one of the easiest is fly to Greece, or take a ferry over to Greece, or fly to Italy, or go to Hungary, or go to Croatia, or go to Montenegro, or go to Bulgaria, or go to Serbia. The list goes on. And let me tell you, you can fly for the cheap or on the low to pretty much any of those countries. One really good budget airline is Wizz Air. I've never had any issue with them. Jeez, my coffee. I don't have my selfie stick. Why I didn't bring it, I don't know, because I got my whole backpack. But cheers. I got a real size coffee. Because sometimes they be giving you the baby size ones. Just FYI, so you know. Hold on, you guys. I'm gonna wipe my screen really quick because I feel like there's a bit of a haze. I think that's a little bit better. Okay, so that's I think the number one reason why Albania is becoming higher and higher, like on that list of places. You know, you think of going and moving to a different place. A lot of people think of warm countries. Everybody thinks of the Americas. You know, we think of Mexico and, you know, Costa Rica, and I believe is becoming more and more prominent in places to go. But I think one of the other things that people are starting to contend with and starting to think about is the ease of staying. Mexico is one of the few out of 193 countries that we get a 6-month visa just by walking in. You don't apply for the visa, you just get the stamp. Or you don't. Last time I went to Mexico, which was in August, they didn't put any dates on mine, but they put 6-month date on my grandson. I don't know if that's because they could see that I had traveled there before, or I don't know what it was, but they didn't put any dates on mine, and I was a little I was kind of like, wait a minute, what that mean? All right, hold on, y'all. I'm going to juice up my coffee. Bear with me. I am gonna put a little sugar in it because it's a little bit bitter, but it's a real cappuccino. It's not a package. He made me a real He made me a real cappuccino. It's got real froth on it. They make a good coffee here, y'all. And usually it's really cheap. Usually they're like 150 lek, 180, maybe 200. And that's high. Which it's for every 100 lek is $1. And everything is pretty cheap here. Okay, so anyway, yeah, the visa is like, I think, one of the main reasons why a lot of people are really considering it. It is a Balkan country. It is not in the EU. It's not part of the EU. It's not part of Schengen. Not sure if they ever will be. I think they solicited for consideration back in 2013 or something like that. But nothing has changed. They are a fairly new tourist country, as they have seen a lot of turmoil in their own country, and just started opening up in the last 30 to 50 years to become more of a tourist hub, given that their next door neighbors are Croatia and Montenegro, and they are getting tons of pass-through. So behooves Albania to maybe jump on board, right? So given that you can come here, you don't apply for a visa, you ain't got to talk to nobody, you come here and they stamp you, or you go through electronic. I think because I came from, I came from Greece, so I did get a stamp. I got a stamp, but they don't put a date. Did I get a stamp? I think I got a stamp. So it's kind of weird. Sometimes they stamp you, sometimes they don't, and it depends on where you're coming from. So if you're coming from the States, I think you don't get a stamp. I don't know, y'all. But just one of the things I advise is if you do come here and you don't get a stamp, keep your boarding pass in your passport, so so that you can keep track of how long you've been here, in case it comes up. So sometimes even taking the ferry over to Corfu, for example, from Saranda, they don't have the information in the system sometimes. And if you travel around a lot like me, they're going to be looking for that entry stamp. And if you don't have it, like they could have full down, all out meltdowns. I think that was one of the videos I shared with you guys back in 2023. The experience I had with the people at the immigration on the Corfu side that just they couldn't understand it. They couldn't understand where I came from because they were tuned to me saying America, U.S., but I came from, I think, Thailand. I think I was in Thailand before I came here in 2023. I don't even know, y'all. You know, so. So anyway, just things to think about. Okay, so y'all ask me any questions that you want, because I'm just going to be rattling off and chatting a little bit. I'll probably fill in the description with some more of the information that's actually written on this phone that I cannot see. But I just want to give you some highlights, like the truth. So yes, so that's a pro. Now I'm going to offset it with a con. As I aforementioned, as I was walking around, it is wintertime. Like, it's cold as, I ain't gonna lie, y'all, hold on. Let me flip it really quick. So, it's quiet, and I think it's quiet mainly because it is pretty cold. I am fingered up, and I've got sleeves on. I don't have my full coat yet because I have to get my luggage and stuff from my friend who's here, and I'm picking that up tonight. So I am short on clothing because I left a lot of things in Bangkok. So I'm a little chilly. I'm not gonna lie. I got my India scarf on right now, but it's bearable. I mean, you won't necessarily die. It's probably not good just to sit outside for a long period of time. But I also am allowing for the weather to get acclimated to the weather as well. Okay, so. That's a con, is to me the cold. That was one thing that was a little bit more unbearable than I expected it to be in 2023 when I first came here. I had planned on staying a minimum of 6 months. I made it almost 4, but I also was staying on the coast. And it was cold as H-E-double-L. It was so cold. And so, okay. Ooh. I'm going to give y'all a pro, and then I'm going to give you a con, and it's related to the cold, okay? So, pro, visa, con, weather, if you're not into winter stuff. I'm going to give you a pro. Albania is an amazing country. I've not been to very many cities in Albania, primarily on the coast, but I have not really gone inland. But I do have some friends who have done that. And just if you go and you just Google places to visit in Albania, it is an amazingly beautiful country. As you guys can see, these beautiful mountains are behind me. I can't see them now. They back there. Way over there. But they stretch. Like the terrain of the mountains is like when you fly and you'll see all the mountains, right? And then they have like the blue hole and it's not blue hole, but it's like a watering thing and it's all green, but you have this deep diving thing which you're not supposed to dive in. It's not even good. Last time I was there, they have a lot of beachfront. Duras is not it's not pretty at all. Duras reminds me of Corpus Christi in terms of what it looks like, what the sand looks like. It's not pretty, unless they change it. I haven't been here since August. But in August, I stayed in Tirana. I didn't go to... I don't even remember it all. I stayed in Tirana. Okay, so, pro is how beautiful the country is. You could literally spend months and months exploring different cities in the country, nature and smaller towns and coastal cities, and where everybody goes. If you're into the party atmosphere, go to Tirana. That's where everybody goes, but it's the summertime. So that's one of the things, as the seasons change, as the weather changes, It's one of those places that literally like just strikes in the summertime. And so okay, I'm gonna offer you a con, maybe two cons. Um, and this really isn't anything new. So let me say, okay, something related to the weather. And this is indicative of many European countries. Um, it, something that you need to prepare yourself for if you're planning on moving here, especially if you're going to stay for the full year or you're coming here in the winter time. Many of the countries, if you've never traveled in winter months and stayed somewhere like that is not a high-end hotel or whatever the case may be, they don't do heat like we do heat. So we're used to, and I don't know, like every place in the US doesn't necessarily have heat like, you know, houses with central air. But that's not a thing here, like at all. They have like the wall units and like space heaters and stuff like that. And so what that means is your floor is going to always be cold. It's going to be icy. And that's one of the things that is so disturbing for me is I hate for my toes to be cold. And so I could deal with cold, but if my toes gotta be cold, I'm struggling. I'm so struggling. Okay, so that's one of the things that you'll see in a lot of different places is they do have a heating function, which the place I'm in is like everything is brand new. I'm in a local apartment building, but the apartment that I'm in is brand new. And so the unit I have works great. The heat works great. It's a small studio, so it's easy to heat. But if you're someone who, you know, you're kind of used to, you want to turn that AC, that heat on and it warms up the entire house and it stays warm, that might not be the case. They don't have insulation. It almost reminds me of like being in an old house where you need to redo the insulation. That's what it feels like. It's colder in apartments in the winter than it is outside, if that helps. So that's kind of a con, or something to prepare yourself for, because a lot of times they'll come here and they're like, oh, it's winter time. I know they have heat because, you know, they deal with it. But y'all, they sit outside in the cold without heat. But it's a European thing. So if you're familiar, you're used to going to Spain, going to Portugal, you know, Lisbon areas, and France even, where they sit outside, you know, that's a thing. If you're used to that and you can manage in that type of environment, you probably don't have a lot of transitioning to do. You'll probably acclimate a little bit quicker. But I think it's kind of a shock to a lot of people, especially when you get outside of doing like mainstream hotels. A lot of times, and one of the things I like to share is that moving somewhere full time is nothing like tourist travel. Especially if you want a budget, you bring in kids, you gotta think about, you know, 6 months to a year, whatever the case may be. You're not gonna be staying. I mean, I see this all the time, so I'm not gonna like really stress that. Y'all know how much money you got. But it's different when you come to a place and you're coming to move as opposed to staying in the Ritz-Carlton. They ain't got one. I don't think they have an Intercontinental either, but let's say like they have a Hilton. I think they have a Hilton. I know they have Marriott. They have some good things, hotels here. So it's like staying in one of those, but you're not going to be staying in one of those if you move, right? So you want some of these, you know, condos or houses. They do have houses and stuff like that. You're going to contend with some of the nuances that make it, you know, Europe different from the States. Okay, so let me give you another pro. There's so many. Generally, I have found the people to be really nice. with a caveat. In America, we are used to just walking around and we um, welcome people with our smile, right? Which is why COVID is so difficult for Americans because I can't see your face. I can't see what you look like. I can't see if you're welcoming, right? So we welcome people with our eyes and with our smiles and our mannerisms that you can see all over our face. They don't do that too much here. So that's something that you have to adjust to, and that's something we're seeing a lot of European countries, not just here, but it's definitely a thing here. You can walk into a store and be like, oh, they don't like me, they didn't. But all you gotta do is say, pushing back there. Clear, clear. In Albania. Or Salvador, which is goodbye or pose, yes. Those are good words I know. But anyway, if you say something or you joke, and they speak a little bit of English or a lot of English, oh my God, they're very welcoming people from young to old, and specifically, I would say like the younger generation because English, especially American English, is heavily taught in their schools. I did meet someone when I first got here. He said he prefers UK English, and I think he was saying because he likes the accent of British people. Like our English is very flat. We don't have any curl to our English, I think is what he was trying to say. So, so yes, the people here are very kind, welcoming in their own way. If you're going to be moving to a particular neighborhood, I encourage you to frequent the local shops in your neighborhood. That's something that you'll learn to do anywhere you go. And that is so that the locals get used to you. They get used to seeing you around. They start to become familiar with your habits. And they become a resource for you. When I was here in Durham and I was staying in this apartment, I needed to get like some houseware type things, and so I popped into this store and I was looking around getting different things, and I mean, they were just so helpful, even to the point of they made me stay and have coffee. Just to sit and chat and have coffee. And then I went to this other store. This is no, the winter of 2021. So I went to this other store, and yeah, what was I gonna say? I went to this other store to get water. I was coming back from a walk. I was exploring the city, going to the ATM. I don't know what it was, but I just decided to stop in this store I hadn't been to. But it was like just like a mart. I'm gonna tell you a cons. Let me think about. We'll try to put a marker in my mind so I don't forget. And so I walked in, and the guy was like kind of like grumpy, like 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 he was having a bad day, but he wasn't. And I said something, and I started laughing, or I was giving him money, something, and he just started cracking up. And we had like a little moment. I can't remember what it was about, but he was just like all smiles and laughs and all of that. After that moment, when I first walked in, you would think that he was just having a bad day, but that's just how they are. And so I'm gonna tell you guys something related to. This is a pro and a con. I've mentioned this before when I talked about Albania. Is when you walk around and you smile. Like I walk and I'm smiling, right? Because typically my face is smiling. And you smile at a man who's smiling at you. That's an invite. So I had this happen to me because I've heard people say it all the time. I'm like, who doesn't smile? They don't smile. Because it is solicitation. You don't touch people. You don't all just different things. They have a different culture. And so somebody asked me the last time I was here, this guy who thought I was, he kept looking at me, and I was just like, I just smiled because he kept staring at me. He kept turning around staring at me. He walked back and forth. This was when I was in Paris. And I smiled. And so one day I was walking, and he happened to be outside of this restaurant, which ended up being his parents, his family's restaurant and bar, a couple doors down from where I was staying. And he followed me, like rolled up on his bike, and was like, "I saw you." And he was all interested. Let me buy you a drink and all that. And that was solicitation, like true solicitation. I just was like, "Oh, that's nice," and all that. And so later on, I met him for a glass of wine, and we were just chatting. And he was like, he said, are you into me or something? I don't know. I can't remember like his lingo. He's a little too young for me, but like he didn't know that. But I could tell like after we met, I thought he was older, but he was younger. And he said, then why are you smiling if you weren't into me? He said that was the message I got. And I said, because I was smiling? And he said, yeah, who just walks around and smiles at people? And I said, we do. That's what we do. So you got to learn the culture, y'all. Because you could just be like blindly smiling love into your life. Now, if that's your goal, that's your plan, then use discernment once you get that love. Once you start getting that attention, because it will come. And they may have different rules about like the marriage of other cultures, but as far as dating, they're pretty open. They're pretty open, both men and women, that I've seen. So that's the thing, is understanding the language, body language, when you see people who look grumpy all the time and stuff like that. It's simply because someone else told me that it's a way of warding off attention that you don't want, especially as women. So they don't smile, they don't, they're not overly, they're emotionless, facially emotionless. I don't know. But it's just something that I had to learn, and had to learn it kind of the hard way. Not in a bad way, but, But I still smile at people. I just don't do eye contact anymore. Like, that's my thing. Like, I just walk around and I smile because that's in my nature. But I don't be looking at them in the eye. I'll be like, it's FYI. Okay. So that was a pro and a con mix. Con. They ain't got rideshare. So I'm gonna tell y'all, if you come from a place, like y'all just came from Bangkok, everything is easy, everything is accessible. So when you go from a place that has everything to a place that doesn't have any of that, but they have tons of taxis, they don't really have what I would say are good taxi apps. You just gotta know a taxi or know somebody, and they give you a taxi number, and then you connect via WhatsApp. Couple things about their taxis. Make sure you are quoted a price. If you're doing like a flat rate ride to the airport, they can usually tell you that before you go. They always only take cash. Make sure you have exact change, so you're not worried about somebody not giving you your change back. If it's a taxi, they should have a mirror in the rear view mirror. Mirror. They should have a meter in the rear view mirror. Alright, I'm not going to stay on here too much longer because I just lost connection, so I don't know if my data is being funky. And I don't think I have any comments from you guys, so I can't tell if this is coming across well or not. So yeah, the rideshare is a big thing to me, because I like being able to book something, not have to carry cash. So when I leave here, I'm actually heading to an ATM to get enough cash to last me the 2 weeks, and the round trips that I need to take back and forth. Like, I'm going to get all my stuff today, and it's all the way closer to the airport, so it's going to cost me like $24. So it's not cheap, but it's not as expensive as the U.S. But if you're coming from places like Bangkok, where you can go all the way from one end of town to the other, and it takes you an hour to get there, and you just pay $5, $12, something like that, it makes a difference. So just be prepared from that perspective, what's one of the other things I was going to say quickly? So they don't have ride share. Oh, y'all, so they don't like it's just and these are two things I'm gonna list because I know as we are traveling more and we're moving to different places, you know how we always say don't compare yourself to other people. You don't have to compare yourself to other people, but compare places to places because this is how you figure out what's on your must-have list and what's on your I can do without list. So let's say you go somewhere like Bangkok, like Thailand in general, or you're in Asia, different parts of Asia that are built up. And you come to a place like Albania. Albania is growing, it's building like literally this park. I was, walking through yesterday, and there's so many new ads to the park. It's one of these cities that also has a lot of condo development. So, as far as buying things, I don't know that it's that easy for us to buy things. But, I mean, I don't think anything is impossible with money. But it is a up and growing country, and what's my train of thought? Oh, and so it's very old school. So even in the downtown in the city area, they got a lot of coffee shops. I'm staying in a kind of university school area, and so there's tons of coffee shops, but there's only kind of like one grocery store over there, and there's these little marts and things like that that they have. They don't have any 7-Elevens here. There are no 7-Elevens. They don't really have malls. Like they do have like shopping centers, but they don't have anything. Like I just came from Bangkok, and this is like culture shock to be here where, I was looking for like a mall to go to sit inside, just to sit and chill. Like halfway through, I have somewhere to like be today, and so I was gonna try to go early to bypass the traffic and just sit and wait. And there's nowhere to sit and wait. To pop up little stores or malls, like maybe 3 levels, and they have a handful, 20 stores inside them, but everything else is outside, right? And that's great in the warm weather, but it's not so great in the winter time. So just FYI, and these are the things that help you start to say, okay, what do I want? What is going to make or break me? What is my happy point? What makes me happy in terms of being in certain places and stuff? So that's something that it's like yeah, okay, add that to the cold for me, and I'm just like, yeah, not right now. I have to come back. The people are amazing though. Like I said, it's a beautiful country. Prices are great. So if you're here in the off season, you can find great pricing, great housing. Excuse me, close to what you'll see, what you'd be paying in Thailand. But the summer months, it like quadruples, no lie. You could literally be paying for a studio apartment or a hotel room, $2,000 a month, easy. It is buck wild from a price perspective once May hits. So if you can get here and you can lock something down before the summer months and sign your lease, you're usually good. There's other little things to noteworthy when you're going to be signing a long-term lease here, but we can get into that on another occasion. So those are just some of the things that I would say, why people are flocking to Albania, and some things to just basic notable things. Prices are pretty low for things. ATMs are pretty much everywhere for the most part, except the area I live in, there's no ATMs. There's not one. There might be in one of the newer like coffee shops, but I haven't seen any ATMs. And that's because they also no, they pay with cash. I was gonna say I don't know if they have like the pay system like That's another thing you get used to in places like Bangkok, where you have like a digital system, and you don't need to carry cash. But I do see a lot of students with cash and stuff here too. So a lot of people use ATM, or they don't use ATM, they use the bank. So just FYI, have cash on you, because it can make or break you. Because they don't know very few places, but like the grocery stores, they do take credit card. But it's good to know that in advance. So I'm gonna end this by saying, actually, do I want to end this? Because I was gonna walk through the park and take y'all with me. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end it. So anyway, a couple things to keep in mind if you're considering moving to a place like this is do your homework, do a little bit of homework, come and stay so you can see, get the vibe. I had one negative experience here last summer when I was here, and it really it tainted me enough that it made me a little skeptical. And I talked about that before in one of my other videos, I believe. So I won't go into it now, but for the most part, I have the same suggestions for you guys each and every time you're considering a relocation of any sort, and that is to do some due diligence and at least pop by, see if it works for you. If you're a person who wants to move around, Albania may be the great place to have a base, which is what I was going to try to do. And I mean, even in the winter months, you can have an apartment, keep an apartment here, maybe get a $300 to $400 a month apartment if you're cool with that, and then bop over to other countries, go and visit Asia at this point in time. One of the things I will tell you that they don't have in Tirana are lockers. They don't have storage lockers. It's one of the things. Bangkok is fantastic. I actually left bags there, so I don't have to tote all this stuff. I didn't have to leave it with anybody. I didn't have to bug anybody or anything like that. I just got a storage unit, just like we have in the States, air conditioned, all of that. Put my backpack and stuff in there, good to go. Paid in advance a couple months, and then I can extend if I need to or whatever, but I don't have to carry all this stuff with me. And it's something that I was looking for when I was here, but luckily I have a friend here, and she's here teaching, so she's not moving, and she's had my stuff since last year. Bless her heart. So that's one of the negatives, is if you are going to leave things, you either need to have a friend or take all your stuff with you. You can't leave your stuff in the airport. I think they do have lockers. Yeah, maybe you probably can, but I mean, I don't know. So they haven't built that type of system up yet. Like, because even in Greece, you can leave your things, and there's locker storage kind of places all over the place. They're small. And they're usually just to hold your luggage until you get on a flight or whatever. Italy has them too, but Albania, they haven't caught up in that as far as that's concerned. So just things like that, things of note, like access to things. There is no IKEA